Uh, Hello guys. I welcome you all to FX Crate. It's Carl speaking. You know, what I wanna do, I just wanna do a commentary of what happened this week and what I was expecting. Even though I was trading bad with load shedding and also preparing some schoolwork and stuff, But I just wanna share what I was expecting and what I did, because this week I was an active loser and also an active winner, because I was wrong with some other aspects and I was right in other aspects too. Yeah, even though there was load shedding and stuff, but okay, here we go. So the week started, you see this vertical line to this one. Okay, this was Monday, so the market opened. So when the market opened, what I saw is that the market took out sell side liquidity from here. So we took out the sell side liquidity from this old low, and then we retraced back inside the range to rebalance the price in the premium level, and then we sold. I don't want to talk about that thing, but I also got that sell. You feel me? And then the market sold. Where did it sell to? We sold to this old low because we created what? We created an old low to offer sell side liquidity because we triggered their sell stops, or the market bought from this order block and then we triggered the sell stops of retail, and then it went to the to the upside. And then again, other people were expecting a reaction from this area, from this low, so there was a high volume of people who wanted to be trading in that zone, and then the market swept it off because it was sell side liquidity and it was taken by this CPI news, by this one big impulsive candlestick that went to the downside and then it took it out. Okay, so what I saw was like, okay, here we have a small fair value gap. I hope you can see it. We have a small fair value gap that was here. That price, I thought price have to come back and rebalance, you understand? And then price came back to rebalance this fair value gap. And then I was also expecting price to come back and fill the void of this CPI news thingy, you understand? So I was waiting for a setup that was gonna take me to the upside to come and do what and fill this void. Because my bias this week was to get some buys. I was expecting buys. I don't wanna lie. I was expecting buys to come and rebalance price in the premium level and then see what's gonna happen in the premium level. You understand? Okay. And then the market didn't do that. It went to the upside and then it went down. You feel me? So I want to take you to the setups. And also another thing that gave me like, okay, dog, we are going to the upside, was this smart money technique. NAS100 failed to break this low. You understand? And then S&P 500 broke the low, and also in S&P 500 there was a gap there. So it's like, okay, this thing is valid because we have the smart money technique or the smart money divergence. So it may be valid that we can look for what? We can look for buys. Here it is, guys. You see, S&P 500 broke this low, as you can see, and then there was this gap, and then I was like, okay, it's valid, my bro. We have to get buys that are gonna come to rebalance the CPI news. So that was it. You understand? Okay, guys. So I took you to smaller time frames, like 5 minute time frame, where I'm gonna show you where I got the entries and what made me, like, my thought process when I was taking those entries. Okay. So Friday, this was Friday last week, and then the market took out this low, and then I bought from this gap, and then I closed when it took out this low. This low was created around the Asian kill zone before, and then I closed my profits when it was around there. So to me, I was continuing with the bias. Remember, the bias for me was to go where? To the upside. So the market created these relative equal highs, and then it went to the downside, and then it reacted from this order block. People were looking at this order block, so I was like, okay, this is the inducement, the sell side liquidity, and then I was going to look for an entry from this fair value gap, and then it came to the fair value gap. I bought, it went up, and then it later took me down from this low because my stop loss was from this low, and it was just the risk entry, because this fair value gap is too much and the stop loss was too big. But I was like, okay, let's buy, and then it took me out. That was my first loss of the week. Okay, and then what I was expecting from what I was seeing here, I was like, okay, the market is going to take out this low. This is the sell side liquidity, and we also had these relative equal lows from here. What made me to look for those relative equal lows from here is this thing. Let me come here. You see, oh shit, these ads are fucked up. S&P 500 took out this low. So when S&P 500 took out this low, I was like, okay, we have to reprice back inside the range because I'm looking for buys that are going to take me to the upside. So I was waiting for the shift, and then the shift happened on S&P 500. And then when I was checking NAS100, NAS100 was too far. NAS100 was too far from doing what? From breaking this low. So there were these relative equal lows, and then it took it out. After it took them out, I was waiting for the shift because I thought about the smart money technique or the smart money divergence, of which it happened. And then when it happened, the market created the shift in market structure, and then it came back to rebalance the gap. This was the inducement, and then I bought. Where was my initial target? My initial target were those relative equal highs. I just knew that the market is going to go and take them out. And then the market rallied to the upside, and then I also bought from here, from this gap, when it came to this gap, because I knew that we were heading up. I don't know how to share these pictures, or where to edit them, or where I'm gonna show the pictures and add them in this video, but I'm gonna learn how to do it. So I took the entry from here, and then I also took it from this fair value gap, and then it went to the upside. And then I closed my partials. I think I left two from here. I closed all. I think I took two from here, and then I took four from here, and then I left one, and then I took them all there. And then the market came down. I was not looking at the market at that time. There was load shedding, and then when it came back, the market was around here, and then I didn't buy from here, and then it went to the upside. And then I closed when the market opened. It closed, this was the high, and then when it opened up, and then I closed my positions. No, I didn't close them all. Okay, I remember what I did. From here I closed two. There were 6 positions. I only closed 2 positions from here, and then I left all these 4, and then I closed 3 from here, and then I left 1. Yeah, I remember. And then what I was expecting, I knew that the market has to retrace back inside the range, because it doesn't move in a straight line. We have to get the impulse, the correction, the impulse correction, and whatsoever. So I knew that we have to retrace back inside the range. Okay, and then the market opened up, and then it broke the previous daily high, and then it created the shift, and then I was looking for sales from there, and then load shedding happened, and I didn't have battery and stuff. I was like, okay, let me not enter any trade. I'm gonna wait for the electricity to come back, and then charge my phone, and then look for them trades, So, and then when it came back, I think it was around here, it already reacted from this fair value gap where I was looking for an entry, and I didn't even set a limit. I was all messed up because I wanted to take that trade because I knew that we have to retrace back inside the range. So the market came coming back around here. It was around here. It didn't touch this gap. So I was like, okay, this gap is too big for me because I respect the risk more than the reward, So like, okay, if it taps in from here, I'm not gonna buy from here. I'm just gonna wait for a shift in market structure, and then I get an entry. I'm not just gonna buy directly from the gap because it's too big, So the market reacted from this gap, went up, and then it later came down, and then I bought from this gap. I bought from this gap, and then I was confident that okay, we are going where? We are going to the upside. And then the market, it later came down, and then it took me out. It took me out. I got the loss. Okay, it was a loss. Okay, cool. We are cool, And then I was expecting it to take out this low, and then there was this gap, this small gap, and not everybody was expecting it to react to this gap. And the bias, remember, on my mind, I'm still sticking with the bias. What is the bias? The bias is to go to the upside and take out these relative equal highs and to go and rebalance that CPI void. Okay, the market came here. Here I made the biggest mistake. I don't want to lie. I made the biggest mistake. I bought from here, and then I set my stop loss, and then I went out to play the ball, and there was load shedding. And then in my mind, like, I had a belief that okay, we are going to the upside. I didn't even think about trailing the trade. I was like, okay, we're going to the upside. When I came back, the market was around here, and then I closed. You feel me? It was a loss. Let me just say, it was a loss for me. It was a loss because I had so many profits from here. But I was like, okay, the market is heading where to the upside, so let me chill. You feel me? And then I went out to play, and then I came back. I was taken out, and it was a good setup, but I was not even checking it because it created these dead drives for those breakout and the return to order block artists. Those niggas were looking for that shit for entries around here, and then it took them out. And then there was a gap from the 3-minute time frame from there, and I was looking at it, but I was like, okay, no man, we are going where? We are going to the upside, because in my mind I heard that the bias is going to where? To the upside. I was married to a trade setup, and that's the mistake that I should avoid, or you should avoid. You must not be married to a trade setup, because anything can happen at any time. So you must always protect yourself and not say because the market is buying, it's going to buy all the time. So that was the lesson that I learned this week, to never be married to a trade setup. And then it came down, and then there was this breakaway gap, that was not filled. And remember, again, the bias is to go where? Is to go to the upside. And then from this breakaway gap, I bought from this breakaway gap, and then also when it created the shift inside the gap, I bought again. And then where I was going for that high, that clean high, And then the market created these things. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna make a lot of cash here. It created these relative equal highs, and the people were trading here, who are trading price action and stuff. They were trading around here, and they made money if they were looking at it because it was good for them. Sell, 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 sell. So I knew that the liquidity for me today, I don't know which day though, because I like this thing doesn't mark days. So I knew that the liquidity for the day are these relative equal highs, and we have to come and get them. And then I bought from the gap from here. I think I shared these entries on my Instagram, and then I knew that we're coming for that clean high, and then the market went up, and then it came for that clean high, and then FOMC came back, and then I knew that we're gonna do what? We're gonna sell, because we created these liquidity things. People are looking for reactions from these things, and then I knew that we're gonna just come back and sweep them out. You feel me? And sweep them out. And I had a limit from here. Let me tell you what happened. So it took out the sell side, and then from FOMC I did what? I sold. Why did I sell from that gap, not from this one? People were asking me, why did I sell from this gap, not this one? Because this one, it had these things that they call the breakup blocks and whatsoever. I don't trade those things, and I just think maybe they don't work, man. Like, that's my belief. They don't work. Anything related to order block to me doesn't work. So I sold from there, and then I forgot that I put a limit from here. But yeah, the stop loss was there. The stop loss was there and everything. And then the market, it just went like it took out the limit, and then I was on that trade, and then I collapsed the trade after it took out that limit, and then I collapsed my trade. You feel me? And then I collapsed my trade when it took out this low, because this was my tape profit, but I forgot about this one, and then I lost this one from this gap, because this was the shift, and then this gap was not balanced. So I was like, okay, it must come back to this gap, but it didn't do it. You feel me? So this was the gap. I was like, hey, it didn't do it. I was like, okay, it's okay, man. It's okay. I'm gonna look for a new one. This was the gap. This was the shift. and then this was the gap. I was expecting it to react to it, but it didn't do it. I was like, okay, let's buy, and then collapse the trade from here, and then I was good. And then it created these things like these relative equal lows from here, and that low that I was expecting it to be broken at first, this low. And then I was like, no man, I'm no longer trading for the day, I'm out, you know. And then I was tempted to trade when it did what, when it broke out this low, but spread took me out. There was a favorable gap from the 3-minute time frame there, and then spread took me out from that high. And then I was like, okay, we cool. And then it went to the downside. I was not in, you feel me? I was not in. I was like, okay, let's buy. It's okay, my boy, we're buying to the where, to the downside, but you're not inside. It's okay. And then the market closed here, and then it opened. And then to me, what I was looking for, I was looking for buys. You feel me? I was looking for buys that were gonna go and rebalance the price in the premium level, because this was the recent high, and then this was the recent low. You understand? Okay, let me push this thing. So the market broke the Asian kill zone high, and then it broke it, and then I was expecting it to come and rebalance from this gap, but it didn't do it. It just went straight up, and then I missed the trade. Like, okay, you missed the trade, my boy, so you're gonna wait for a new one. And then there was this one. Let me go to the 15-minute time frame. Like the 15-minute time frame explains this one properly, you know. Okay, this is it. So this was the gap from the 15-minute time frame. It didn't tap on it, and then it went up, and then it going up. I was like, okay, it's gonna go and rebalance from that gap, and then later do what, look for sales and stuff, because I knew that now, okay, now we are looking for sales. Well, I'm not gonna look for buys, I'm gonna look for what, I'm gonna look for sales, because of what I've been seeing with price. And then it reacted from this gap, and then it went to the downside. So I also wanted to buy from him this gap, because this was the recent high, this was the recent, this is the recent high, this is the recent low. So I knew that we have to retrace back inside the range, and then we go for that high, but it didn't do that shit, this thing. So this was the gap, it didn't tap on it, you know, it was not in. And yeah, it later came back down. I was not interested, because I knew that we got the inducement. We cannot get the inducement like twice. We have to get the inducement once, and then you buy. So it directed from this gap, not from this one. So I knew that for the third time it's not going to react. We are going where it's going to be a suicide. And then I didn't take it when it came back for the third time from here. And then I saw this thing as my liquidity pool, and then it came back to this gap, and then I bought, you know, where I was buying to, I was buying for it to come and take out this high, and then come to that premium zone to rebalance price, and then look for sales from there. But it didn't do it, it took me out. It was my loss. Okay, dog, lost. That is what it is, you know. And then I was looking for another opportunity. When it took out this thing, what I saw another opportunity for me to take what, to take a trade. It was not a revenge trade thing, but it was a valid setup, and I took it. Let me show you what happened for this setup. So the market took out this low, this low. After taking out this low, I knew that I have to wait for what? You have to wait for the shift, because after taking out a high or a low, you have to retrace back inside the range. So this was the shift in market structure, and then this was the gap, and then this was the inducement, and then it came from here, and then I bought, and then I collapsed all of my trades from here, because I knew that now the buyers were looking for what? We are looking for sales. But where are we going to look for sales? I'm not just going to buy, I'm not just going to sell in any possible area for sales, because I know that we're looking for sales. So I didn't do that, and then I just let it be, and then it reacted from that gap. Like, nah, Kyle thought you're not entering there. And then it went to the downside. As you can see, it's going to the downside now, and I'm not in. I felt bad though, but I'm not gonna rush anything. I'm not just gonna do anything, because I wanna stick to my rules. So if anything doesn't comply with my rules, I'm not gonna take the trade. So what I'm expecting next week I'm gonna expect buys, you know. we took out this, we're gonna take out this low, I'm gonna expect buyers to go and do what? To come and rebalance price inside this range. You have to come back and rebalance price. But I'm gonna share it to you guys so that you can see, and then you can get your own entries. But people from my group are like, I was absent for a while, they know that I was absent for a while, but I shared some of the setups to them. They got some of the setups, but yeah, I mean, yeah, so this is what I've done, and today I'm not willing to trade or do anything. I'm just watching price doing its own things. So I was an active loser and an active winner, and that's something that we have to put in your subconscious mind, that nothing is 100% guaranteed. You're gonna lose some, you're gonna win some. As long as you protect yourself, you're gonna be good in the industry, you're gonna make a lot. But if you don't protect yourself, you think you're just gonna do whatever you wanna do because you believe it's gonna do that, you're gonna get fucked up. You feel me? So yeah, this is what happened, and I made some outs, I made some wins. So yeah, it's kind of great. I'm signing out, guys. Please like, subscribe, share it to others so that they can like view it. And then if you wanna catch me, you can catch me on my Instagram at Carl the Great 19, yeah, or at Carl the Great 20. Those are my Insta handles, and then you're gonna catch me there. I hope everybody's gonna be good during the weekend, and then we come back next week. We call the markets. God bless everybody. Signing out.